All right, Shot Town. We should be live now. You guys make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to the 9th edition of Mouthpiece Included. Make sure you guard your grill, you know, knuckle up. That's one thing. It's one of our mottos. And don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. So get this set up here. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the chat. The algorithm loves it. The algorithm absolutely loves it. So let's get that going. Okay. Like, share, subscribe. We got a great show lined up. We got some great guests lined up. We got the Silverbacks absolutely in the building. You guys, just keep your cameras off, stay muted until we cue it up. Appreciate your patience. Just gotta take care of some pre-show business. Yeah, buddy.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right, we're just gonna stop that share because I don't know what's going on here. So big ups to Booger Balls and the Spook. So we'll just cue the show and get the guys, get the Silverbacks in the building. So first off, we got one of the mainstay Silverbacks in the building. Ace, you know how we do it. You can go ahead and take a minute, do any plugs, intros, and this is your 60 seconds, bro.
My 60 seconds of fame. My 60 seconds of fame. Glad to be back. I had to take a brief hiatus last week, but I'm back on the Mouthpiece Included show. I brought my Mouthpiece included. Greetings to everyone. Happy Juneteenth weekend coming up in 2 days. Make sure you celebrate. Make sure you let your children know what Juneteenth was about in this nation, because they won't learn it in school.
Why ain't we celebrating the day the Emancipation Proclamation was celebrated? Why didn't that get written into law? That was a rhetorical question. All right, let's. It was a rhetorical question. I put my foot on Juneteenth. I mean, big ups to Juneteenth and what it means, but big ups. I mean, I got mixed feelings on that. Obviously, I mean, I want some substance. I'm tired of these symbols, bro. I want substance.
Yeah. I mean, we got to start somewhere.
Yeah, we've been starting somewhere. We got to start getting some substance, bro. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be that guy. I'm not celebrating those. I'm not celebrating that crap no more. But yeah, man, and big ups to Jackie Robinson.
Yeah. We got a home run hitting derby on Monday night. Got some more free baseball. Home run hitting derby at 7 p.m. Monday night, 107th and Sangamon. Come on out with the family. See some of the best home run hitters in Little League this year at Jackie Robinson Park.
And big ups to Jackie Robinson West. Big ups to you, bro. Hey, and we got also in the building Big Nick, South Florida. What up with it, bro?
What's going on, man? Trying to.
You doing it mafioso? You in there like the Godfather? You in there like the Godfather, huh?
Hey, man, daddy duties never stop, man.
Hey, that's
never stop. You know, I sent them to the store earlier. I'm thinking they was gonna get them something to eat. Coming here 10 minutes ago.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Okay, so you know what? There's nothing for me to say to retort they're hungry. Let me just get up and make them something to eat. So,
hey, smart man. Yeah. I say real men make their family dinner, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Hey, all the gangster movies I saw, not that we got to be gangster. You know, that's what they was doing. They was in there cooking, bro. You know, having conversation. You know, making feeding the family. Hey, so but today, go ahead, bro.
Couple minutes, go stir the pot. You know how they go.
Absolutely. So today, we're starting our series on QB'ing while black. It's been kind of a thing. Specifically today, we're going to talk about Cam Newton, but also we're going to touch on who was the first black quarterback to actually play in an NFL game, to play QB in a game. Also, who was the first starting quarterback, first drafted in the first round, first to win a Super Bowl. We're going to list some notable black quarterbacks that stand out in our minds. And then also, brothers, don't mention your B GOAT. That's your black GOAT at the quarterback position. And then but don't mention that. I mean, you can mention them when we list the notables, but don't tell us who you think the B GOAT is. And then we'll ask if you think there's a distinction between the B GOAT and Tom Brady, because I know all y'all feel like Tom Brady is the GOAT because of the classical conditioning. Your conditioning has been conditioned. If we're going to go over Cam's college and NFL accomplishments, do we feel like more is expected from black quarterbacks? Are they on a shorter leash, so to speak? We're going to touch on the Cam Camp incident where the young Silverback is athletic too, got some skills, man, and how Cam handled that. So that's basically what we're going to touch on in this 90-minute segment. So the guests have already introduced themselves. So I want to ask, we'll start it with Big Nick. Who was the first black quarterback that you can remember that you know historically to play in an NFL game, to play QB in an NFL game?
The first one that I remember was, I think it was Evans for the Oakland Raiders. He was a backup for a while. I believe it was Vince Evans. or something like that.
Hey, Vince Evans was in that video we just played. But he was
Uh,
originally a Bear, man. But we're gonna
Bears.
let you. Yeah, we're gonna
okay,
let you talk your Raiders.
okay. No,
But
no, no,
yes,
no, no. I'm a Dolphin fan. I'm a Dolphin fan.
yeah. I know, but
So my
you know,
history on other teams might not be as strong as it is with my team, but I believe he was in the league before Warren Moon. I believe.
the Raiders treated him better than the Bears did. That's for sure.
Yeah. He could never get the rock though. He could never get the rock. For some reason they wouldn't give him the rock. But
Yeah.
yeah, he played along. He was a backup. He made a nice career for being a backup. He was there for a while.
Well, Ace, who would you say the first black quarterback, to play quarterback in an NFL game? Do you have any idea who that was?
Now, hold on. Is this a trick question? Is this a person of color or is this a black quarterback? Specifically going by the dynamics that we know of what we represent as black.
Black quarterbacks, bro.
Okay. All right.
All right.
No
You're
sense.
talking about black quarterbacks, bro.
Okay.
Well, my first black
They ain't
quarterback
speak no
was
Spanish.
see, it's bueno.
Big ups to the Latin community. We just saying. But go ahead,
Jim Thorpe.
Ace. Go
My
ahead,
first
Ace.
black quarterback was Vince Evans for the Chicago Bears there. Unfortunately, he was
I'm not asking you who the first black quarterback, y'all. I'm asking y'all who y'all think the first black quarterback historically was to play
Oh,
quarterback in an NFL game.
oh.
Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jim Thorpe. That's why I said person of color. So
Well, now listen. I'm gonna say from my research here, guys, the first black quarterback to play in an NFL game, he was a Chicago Bear. I'm trying to see if he was related to a guy I know, but his name is Willie Thrower. Well, no, sorry about that. I'm giving you bad history.
Okay.
The first black quarterback to start in an an NFL game was that's who it is. It was I'm gonna read an article I pulled. His name is Willie Thrower in 1953. Now he wasn't drafted, and he didn't start, but he was playing behind Hall of Famer. What's his name? Johnny Unitas or somebody like that. He was playing behind Unitas or something in his later years, and got dude got hurt, and Papa Bear put him in the game, man, and they booed the entire time.
I bet.
And it was 1953. Willie Thrower.
In Chicago? Yeah.
Yeah, ain't that weird, man?
Willie Thrower. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and now that you mentioned that, I think YouTube has a lot of. I'm eclectic with what I watch, and if it catches my attention, I will watch it. And I do. I vaguely remember watching something about the first black quarterback. Yes, with Papa Bear Hallis. Yeah, with George Hallis.
Now, was that really his name? I mean, I can understand the Willie part, but
yeah, that was his name, Willie Thrower. Yeah, that was his name. I would have said he played for Washington, but I was wrong. It was Chicago.
Willie Thrower. I have to do some more Chicago Bear research into the Willie Thrower. They haven't.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was a beast in college too.
Probably was.
Yeah, I don't think he went to traditional powerhouse schools, if I'm not mistaken.
He couldn't.
Yeah, I think he's a beast.
Oh, okay. Hey, y'all got me now?
Yes, sir.
My bad. Hey, so Rose, here's an article from the Tribune from that time. Joe Perry fumbled and Dick Hensley recovered on the 49ers 16. Willie Thrower, former Michigan State Negro quarterback star, making his major league debut, passed 12 to Jim Dooley, putting the ball on the 4. It was George Belanda and Fred Morrison came into the game with a resounding raspberry. They wanted Willie to put it over, but Morrison did it on a blast-off tackle. The boos changed to tears. Although Thrower was not drafted in 1953, he was offered a 1-year, $8,500 contract with the Bears. He became the backup quarterback and roommate to future Pro Football Hall of Famer George Blanda. He did not play until October 18, 1953 against the 49ers. Bears coach George Papa Bear Hallis was unhappy with Blander's play and pulled him, sending in Thrower. He moved the team to the 15-yard line of the Niners, but was denied a chance to score the TD when Papa Bear Hallis took Walter Payton out the game. No, when Papa Bear Hallis put Blander back into the game. The Bears eventually lost the game 35-28. Thor completed 3 out of 8 passes for 27 yards and had 1 interception. He would only play one more game for the Bears, who released Thor after the 1953 season. But go ahead, John.
That was quite a bit of money back in 53, especially for Papa Bear. Well, you know, it's all relative in comparison to what the other players were getting paid, but $8,500 in the 50s for the NFL for Papa Bear, that was, you know, but then they cut him, so, you know.
My question would be to Papa Bear, did he make the team because he was the absolute best athlete on the team and he couldn't let him go?
Had to be because Papa Bear's racist.
They weren't gonna let him throw the ball.
No, and Papa Bear was racist. So you're right. That's a good point. You do have to wonder what the motivation was.
Yeah. You know, because it wasn't. Hey, look, it wasn't that many.
He's like he had him just to embarrass Belander. I'm gonna light a fire under Belander. Yeah.
I want to send Willie out there.
It wasn't that many Willie throws in the NFL. It wasn't that many Willie throws at that time. Now, remember?
No, it wasn't that many Willies.
Look, I say this. The reason I don't talk about the 1972 undefeated, I know it's our subject, but the reason I don't talk about the 72 undefeated Dolphins team, even though they're the only pro team in sports history that ever go undefeated, but it wasn't that many Willie throws on that team. The league done changed. The league done changed. Them boys won't win the game. They wouldn't make it past the 50. Nick Bonicani, he's a Hall of Fame linebacker. He was 185 pounds.
Hey, I tell you what though. No, we want to stay, but we're gonna unpack that team, bro. In honor of you, I'll set it up. Seriously, we're gonna do a whole show where we unpack the brothers on that team because they had some GOATs, some Hall of Famers, some thugs, not thugs, but some real men, some silverbacks. You know.
I count 3 people. I count 3 people that might can play in the NFL today.
Wow.
Off that team. Larry Little, Paul Warfield.
Paul Warfield, definitely.
And maybe short yardage, Larry's uncle.
Well, hold on to that. Now we teased it. I'll use this in the promo video. I'll use this because we're gonna do that, and then of course we got to do the 85 Bears too, Ace. You know, and at a different time too. But let's stay on topic now. That quarterback I mentioned, that was in the modern era. Now, there was a single wing tailback position, which I think Cam should have played, by the name of Fritz Pollard. He was an instrumental figure, Fritz Pollard, an instrumental figure in the formative days of the National Football League. So back in the original days, he became the first black quarterback when he started playing position for the Hammond Pros in 1923. Hammond, bro. By that time, 1923, bro. See, ESPN ain't gonna tell you that. By that time, he had already became the first black head coach in the NFL, and prior to his professional career, the first black quarterback, All-American, and the first to appear in the Rose Bowl. Pollard faced racism throughout his career, including from his teammates. In college, fans were reported to sing "Bye-Bye Blackbird" when he took the field. Pollard would sometimes have to enter the field through a separate gate or be driven onto the field in a car for his own safety in order to avoid fans who chanted "kill the N-word" and threw bottles and bricks at him. After retiring from football, Pollard started the first black tabloid newspaper. Wow. New York's Independent News. In 2005, Pollard was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So that's I guess that's where it all started.
1923 to 2005. I believe before a Bears game, or I'm not sure it was a Bears game, it was an NFL game, they finally recognized Fritz Pollard this past season in 2020.
Pollard?
So you're talking 1923 to 2020. They finally gave him some roses.
Well,
97 years.
He was a Lane Tech grad.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Tech. That's in Chicago, bro.
So yeah, I believe it was before a Bears game. He was a trivia question before a game. You know, not nothing significant, but as a person of color watching the game, you know, when they came out with French Pollard and showed his picture, it was an interesting major fact to me. But you know,
Yeah.
the NFL does something, you know, totally different.
Lane Tech Island, bro. Hey, you got anything to add to that, brother Nick?
No, it's just that, you know, a while ago, before I started this journey I'm on as far as the work I'm doing, I probably would have been kind of upset about his whole journey and how he had to come to the field. But then, you know, when you start to understand about who you are, who your people are, and the reason why, you know, I always look for. I don't want to know why I got a cold. I want to know. I mean, I don't want to know that I got a cold. I want to know why I got a cold. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the reason why. Anything we get into that technically is an American sport, anything we get into, it doesn't matter if it's the most obscure of the American sport, our name resonates. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of us watch hockey, but we know when we hear about the brother hockey player that he's a beast. You know what I'm saying? And it's just something that we take over and they know that.
Mm-hmm.
They know this. I mean,
how much better that brother has to be to take that position. That'd be the thing about it.
No, it's not even we better. We're better, period. We're better. However, the access isn't there. So, you know, if you get a bunch of 8, if you get 7, and to those 7s, everybody's telling them they're 10. You know what I'm saying? They feel like the league is full of 10s until that brother come in there, and then they say, well, he started as a 15. No, he's just already a 10. You know what I'm saying? So the access wasn't there until it was. And now it's 73%. You know what I'm saying?
It's but only 25.
I think it's
but only 25% QBs right now.
Well, I mean, it's still there that you have to be 3 times better to be considered or in the conversation of being a GOAT.
All right, you guys are getting ahead of me. Y'all getting ahead of me. We're gonna get there. We teasing it. Who was the first drafted in the first round? First black quarterback to be drafted in the first round. What year and by whom?
In the first round, first black quarterback.
Black quarterback.
Hold on.
Y'all know this answer. And if I give it to y'all, y'all gonna be mad.
Not that long ago.
Just throw out some names. Throw out some names.
I don't think Randall was the first rounder.
That's a good guess. He was, but I don't think he was the first. I don't think he was the first. I don't think he was the first. He might have been late first rounder. But that's
Doug Williams?
Doug Williams, yeah. It was Doug Williams. Yeah.
No, Doug wasn't the first, was it? I think Doug was undrafted, wasn't he?
No, he was first round, not first overall. He was drafted like 20-something. He was the first drafted in the first round, and he was drafted by the Washington football team, which is formerly known as the Redskins.
Right.
And then, y'all know what year that draft was?
Well, hold on.
Be early 80s, right? 80.
Didn't he start? Didn't he start at Tampa? Yeah, Doug Williams started at Tampa. I think Doug Williams was the quarterback when they lost all their games. When they first year.
Somebody Google that. That's a good question. Yeah. I thought he started at the Redskins.
He did. He won a Super Bowl with the Redskins.
He won a Super Bowl with the Redskins. Yes,
correct.
I think he
and that's the next question. He's the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl too.
He's the only black quarterback. No, Russell Wilson.
Russell. Yeah.
Pat Mahomes.
And Pat. Well, yeah.
Drop.
If Obama's black, you got it. Yeah. Carrot Top is definitely black.
Yeah, he started. I'm pretty sure Doug Williams started at Tampa Bay. I'm pretty sure he did.
Was he drafted? Are you sure? I remember him being young in that uniform, bro. It's weird you saying that, but my research, they said, Wikipedia said the Redskins, bro. But
he was drafted. I got it. By the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1978, 17th overall in the first round.
Buccaneers. Okay, when did he get moved to the Redskins? Because I did remember him in that uniform, and the Buccaneers were like an expansion team.
He came after Theismann. I think he was after Schroeder, then Theismann.
He went to the Arizona Outlaws, which I believe was the USFL after Tampa Bay.
Wow.
Then went to the Washington football team in 1986.
Right.
And, who the Bears have at quarterback all that time?
Everybody.
No, that was McMahon. That was McMahon in 86.
Well, summer 84, I quarterback for the Bears.
And McMahon might have gave you, your best ability is your availability. And McMahon will be around for about 6 out of 10 games, man, maybe 7. He'd be 100% for half of them. He's a tough kid. We love McMahon.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
Yeah, but McMahon,
it was a different league.
Yeah.
It was a different league because,
they'd be mad at him. Like they used to be mad at Vic for not getting down.
He was Tim Tebow with a slightly better understanding of playing quarterback.
Correct. He was a better throwing, less athletic Tim Tebow.
I'm not going to say a better throwing, just a better understanding.
He was definitely a better thrower than Tim Tebow, but he wasn't he couldn't run like Tebow. McMahon couldn't run like Tebow. He was tough though. He was just tough.
Yeah.
He didn't have the receiving core. Like Willie Gault would get open, but sometimes he just couldn't catch that ball even though he was open.
Yeah, bro, you got to remember what McMahon did at Brigham Young, and he would come in the game. I remember he was throwing some bombs, man. He came in that game against Minnesota when he was hurt on Monday Night Football. We was down like 4 touchdowns. He came in. Man, it was just Dicker's system would be holding him back. He was the punky QB.
Dicker didn't know what he was doing.
Right. But if he was black doing all that stuff, I don't think he'd have been in the league very long.
No.
All right, but we covered who was drafted. Y'all just did that draft, so now we want to slide down. All right, so y'all listed some notables. I think we heard Randall Cunningham. We heard Doug Williams. We heard Vince Evans.
Vince.
Any other? We heard y'all mention Russell Wilson. We mentioned
Aaron McNair.
Aaron McNair. That's the next one in the series. He's the next quarterback we're going to feature. My boy Dennis, man, Stallings. That was his quarterback, bro. I'm gonna see, man, if he'll come on and join us for that. Yeah.
Warren Moon.
They had some college boys that didn't quite make out. Kelly Smith.
What's the guy out of Texas?
David Ware.
Definitely Warren Moon, Michael Vick, David Ware.
Vick.
But even some flops though. You can mention the flops. What's his name? Played at Oakland. They
Jamarcus Russell.
I don't think the brother was a flop. I think they gave their brother that money. And that brother said, "Man,
cocaine." Pardon me. Yeah, Mandy's in the.
Well, they were alleging that he was drinking the lean. That's what some rumors. Yeah, that's what some rumors was.
And you had the guy out of Texas. What was his name?
Vince Young.
Yeah, Vince Young.
Vince Young had 3-4 years.
I feel like we're forgetting somebody still. You said Warren Moon. Oh, Colin Kaepernick. Got to put him on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I hate for Vince Evans was he was before his time. You have a extremely fast, talented quarterback that was in a drop back pass or offense. Now, if you have Vince Evans in the offense that they're running nowadays, these read options, and with Walter Payton as his running back, who's going to stop him?
Bro, Kwame Brown on his bus rant said something similar to what you're talking about, man. When he was saying his local sportscaster, I remember I was in LA. His local sportscaster would be downing him. And I was watching footage of Vince Evans, and I'm like, man, he was doing good. And they would be just praising the receiver. And when they would, I'll send you clips. They were like, well, you have to give You have to give Vince Evans some credit. And this is the home, like he's taking them on. And Ace, when I looked at that, I remembered that as a shorty watching that in Chicago, man, what that was about. Like, it was laid on so thick, and you can YouTube it, Nick. They got, just do Vince Evans highlights and listen to how the commentators are subtly throwing jabs at that man. And he was playing some good football, man. They had me hating him. I hated Vince Evans as a young guy. I was drinking all the Kool-Aid.
It was a mentality, though.
I'm 50 years old, man, and Pat Summerall and them was old when I was learning about commentators and what their names are. You know what I'm saying? So it's that good old boy, you know, it's that back to, it's the Make America Great Again thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what that means. That don't mean make America the best country in the world. That means like make America white again. And so, you know, it was basically, you know, the stars is coming up. Look at the vitriol that they gave Muhammad Ali.
Man,
even before the whole, you know, situation with the draft, they hated Muhammad Ali.
Man, took his prime.
You know, but and it still goes on. You know, they hated Jordan, they hate LeBron. You know, I mean, until that greatness just continue to supersede through their hate, and then during their latter years, or they see that they done made billions of money for industry,
or once they die,
then they fall in love.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
You see how they love Nipsey? Nipsey died.
But I gotta admit too, I had those biases because I hated Larry Bird. I just didn't see it. Larry Bird, that ain't a team I can think of. Larry Bird ain't on my team now. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for me not to have him in the starting position.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I used to get into it with people in the hood. They thought I was drinking the Kool-Aid about that. Even when my brothers, Larry Bird had game, and even those who competed against him would tell, hey man, hey, I was just watching it, and I was like, hey, I didn't want to I didn't want to like him either. I was in the same type of hood, you know what I mean? I'm like, nah, man, he did them motherfuckers last night, and I didn't even realize how.
The moment he retired, I'm like, oh my God, I love him.
Yeah. You like my big brothers was. That's how they was. And you know what? You respected them game, recognized game.
Well, I had a similar type game like Larry Bird. I mean, you know, I wasn't the super most athletic, but I back then I realized
Reggie gave us less athletic ones hope.
Now, what's crazy about the night's topic is that I played, the only position I ever played in my life was quarterback. That's it, all through high school.
Well, see, that's why we got you here. Well, good. That's why I see we're gonna get into your experiences right here on this question. So we're starting with you. We're starting with you because Ace was kind of going here a minute ago, and this is where we're getting into: is there a higher demand? You know how we grew up and our moms and dads tell us, you know, you got to be better. You know what I mean? If you're going to be a freedom fighter, you got to be 10 times better than a white freedom fighter, that type of thing, which I don't think is bad advice. Making a person better is always good, I guess. But now, is that true? Is it true? Was it true? And is it true now? And I'm asking you first, Big Nick, and then break it down even from what you experienced, bro.
All right, in the athletic sport like this, right? Basketball, football, you know, the two most athletic sports. When it comes to us, there's two definitions of being, you know, better or the best. Is it better than what's presented to you as best, or is it better than our best? Because growing up in a sand lot, we know we don't play it against people 1,000 times better than people in organized sports, and we dominated those players in sand lot sports. So when you say the expectation of being the best, whose expectation? Is it our expectation? Because yes, if a black person is selected number 1 overall in the NFL, whether it be quarterback or kicker, we expect us for him to be the best, right? Because
we do.
Because
we do.
You number one. That means you are good. You are better than everybody.
And number two, if you fuck up too bad, you messing it up for everybody coming behind you. Go ahead, though, bro.
Right. So our expectation is it's the same reason why. It's the same reason why. You take analytics out of it. Whenever there's a white boxer versus a black boxer, and the white boxer win, every brother on the planet look at him like, "What the hell going on?" what the hell is going on? How you lost this fight? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. But because we hold ourselves athletically to a level where anybody that's not black don't even understand. Because we've seen some things. We've seen boys run down the paved road with no shoes on, blowing anything out that come in that neighborhood, faster than anything you done seen. We done seen kids 9 years old out in the park, flip flop, whole. You know what I'm saying? So our expectation of what's the best is different. So
Yeah,
yeah, we do have a lot of
but
pressure.
let's reel it in a bit though. You said you laced them up. You played the QB. Was there a higher uh, expectation placed upon you by the coaches, by the system? Do you think it was harder for you to maintain that position? Was any coaches telling you exactly what you're saying, that man, you got to carry yourself a certain way, like they try to tell Cam, and I think that's what hurt Cam a little bit, all that shucking and jiving. He's a little early, he was doing a lot
I
of
don't.
shucking and jiving, wasn't giving it up to his team. I'm getting ahead of I'm ahead of myself here though. But back to you,
Okay.
Big Nick. Do you think that it's a shorter leash and it's harder for a brother, to put in layman's terms, to become a quarterback?
Um. Yes and no.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think. See, I got to keep switching off to other sports, right? To other analogies, right? It's like in basketball. In basketball, certain players when they get to the NBA, they didn't develop those skills because coming up, they didn't need those skills. Just pure athleticism. They were dominant. They were killing you. So they ain't had to get no Steph Curry 3-point jump. They ain't had to develop that. That same kid
It
that
was
didn't
bigger,
develop
faster,
that
stronger.
was getting 60 points a
Mm-hmm.
game in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So with us, it's the same way. When I played high school and I played at a high level, I played at 5A, and I was a pretty good. I'm still right now. Well, I don't know right now, I have to check, but when I graduated, I was third in the county and passed, right? But I never had that talk from my coach, like you expected to be great, you expected to be better, because my team was predominantly black.
Was your coach black or white?
My coach was black.
Okay.
There wasn't a mix. I think that's more prevalent in a mixed team.
Mm-hmm.
When there's different
Mm-hmm.
backgrounds and culture on the mixed team, then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you might get that. A black player might hear that type of message.
Correct.
But when you on a predominantly black team,
correct,
it's like you don't really hear that
the
because
black coach is going to tend to play the best player.
right, and it's assumed, that you are great already. Like you ain't gonna find no predominantly black team that's going 0-11.
Correct.
It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna happen. So the messages, it depends on who's giving the message. It depends on who's hearing the message to determine how to message. Like for me, when I'm on my channel and I'm talking to my people, I use my community a lot. And you know exactly who my community is. I don't have to go into detail to explain to you who my community is.
Yeah, your community is our community, man.
Right. And you who I'm talking to. And
Right.
and if everybody else thinking I'm talking about the human race community as a whole, then that's all fine and well on their part.
Correct.
But I'm talking to my community. And I never have to go into detail and explain that. So it's the same thing with an all black team. You're not getting that. You're not getting that talk. Like, man, you got so much pressure. No, you're not getting that talk. But if it was a mixed team, then maybe you might get that talk.
Well, I'm gonna throw it to you, and I'm gonna throw it to you more as from a NFL standpoint, or you see even college, high school, and then I'm gonna tell you my experience because I played at a mixed school, Big Nick, and I'm gonna tell you it was different types of pressures. But Ace, what do you think? You got kids, laced them up?
Well, I'm going from different kind of eras, in the era when you were in high school, especially in the Midwest here. Even though you went to a mixed school, I went to a mixed school in the Catholic League. The perception from the NFL to the college level, even down to high school, if you have a mixed school, the running back was going to be black. And if you got a white quarterback that can That can
Manage.
run the plays, manage the plays. He's going to get the first nod as the QB number one.
Right.
And in the NFL at that time, we were considered not able to handle an entire playbook for an NFL team. And, all of that matriculated down from, you can't be a quarterback in the NFL, or if you're a supreme athlete in high school, you go to the college level back in the 80s. They're going to convert you to a cornerback because of your quick feet, or a receiver if you got good hands, or
Well, guys, who changed that? Who changed that? Whether it's player, coach, was it just the times? Who changed that?
Maybe the times and the evolution of the game changed that. You got even now. Let's say you have a head coach like Prime Time, who's trying to change all of that as far as
big ups to Prime, boy. Big ups to Prime, boy.
He's coming to him like, I understand what you're going through. I understand where the HBCUs are now, and where we're trying to go as a conference, as having athletes that normally went to the PWI schools, and let's go to these HBCUs and raise everybody up to the point where you can come here, compete, and get your endorsements now that the rules have changed a little bit in NCAAs.
Mm-hmm.
You can progress, and you can challenge these PWI schools, because we're going to get these athletes that normally wouldn't look at a HBCU. So big ups to Prime Time for what he's trying to accomplish. It's just a matter of how much support he can get.
See, he's going to have to do, for that to happen, in my opinion, he's going to have to do a John Calipari. He's going to have to, if he can get a John Calipari class, then I think other students will notice. You know what I'm saying? John Calipari, the Kentucky basketball coach, he isn't the best X's and O coaches, but when you recruited Derrick Rose, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Big Booby Cousins, on and on and on, kids want to go play for you. And if we can get these HBCUs, I remember I used to call talk radio a lot. And whenever a black head coach come on to HBCU, I used to ask him, did you go after Adrian Peterson? You might don't get it, but do you send him a letter? Do you invite him to the school? Do you give us an opportunity? And also, man, we got to build these relationships with these parents. We got to almost black guilt these parents, man. I'm not above black guilt.
Me either.
I'm not above it.
It's just, you know what it is, but Big Nick, and I want to ask you on the sidebar, man, how's the baby?
He's doing great, and I'm going to be susceptible to black guilt.
Correct. And no, but I didn't bring that up for that. I brought up to say that. See, I don't have kids, so it makes it a little more difficult for me to put that type of black guilt out there, man. But yeah, man, that's black guilt, man. Yeah, man, they be what the kid gets a choice. No, it's a code going on. It's a movement going on. You ain't got no choice. And if you go where you want to go, don't talk to your family no more. You know what I'm saying? Right. Right.
Send your son to me, brother.
Man.
Come on, sister.
Man, that's how they build their programs. Think it ain't.
Man, but being the devil's advocate. Being the advocate, the main mission of Prime Time is to make the playing field even. Between these PWIs and HBCUs, because they're nowhere near that now.
And no disrespect to you, not to cut y'all, no disrespect. Why do we have to be even when we all the competition?
Correct. It don't have to be even, man. Duke didn't come out and say they want the playing field even. Duke recruited the best players from Duke was a little bitty school. They got the best players from our communities. It don't have to be even. We just need the best players to go play. We need the best players to go play at those schools. Then the money comes in, and then it'll be even.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but they got to start somewhere. Now, you got a PWI school that has an $8 million locker room, and the HBCU can barely get uniforms. It's a difference. and
But
that
you're right.
athlete is trying to get to a certain level, and he needs some help from the school.
Well, see, that's misappropriated funds. Because
Right.
HBCUs are getting money on top of money. They're getting government kickbacks and slosh funds and this and that. These
But it
kids should
doesn't go
have
to their
uniforms.
program.
Huh?
It doesn't go to those programs. It goes to, you know.
Bro, when we're in 2021 and we got major colleges claiming that they're, what word am I looking for? Certified universities accredited. And they're talking about we can't get uniforms, bro. That's nigga shit. And if you get to the bottom of it, somebody's stealing. See, they don't want guys like me in the boardroom and talking to
Right.
these motherfuckers, man, because that's nigga shit. I don't
That's
want
what's
to talk
going
about
on.
we can't get no uniforms at a
Man,
damn college. I don't even want to hear it, man. If they got on the street and hit a drum and they could do a GoFundMe or go raise me, fund me on the internet and get uniforms, bro. A
but look,
GoFundMe.
it don't even have to get to that, man. It don't have to get
Man,
to that. If Lil Nick is the
he's
next
got to go
Michael
play in
Vick,
them old
if
uniforms,
Lil Nick
correct?
is the if Lil
Man,
Nick is the next Michael Vick, why can't I send him to
man,
Bethune Cookman? And then if you got a son and he the next
man.
Eddie George,
Hey,
send him Bethune Cookman
hey,
and
hey,
guarantee you
Big
those
Nick, and
sponsors go.
you tell Lil Nick, there, name that stadium after you when we finish. You will have a whole stadium named after you. You know what I
All I
mean?
know, all I know of all the Michael Vick was all at HBCUs. If they was all in HBCUs, guess where Amazon will be doing their commercials at?
It was good
Guess what
enough for Walter
McDonald's be having
Payton.
their
It was good enough for Walter Payton. It was good enough for Jerry Rice.
They're
We can
right.
go up and down the list.
Shannon
McNair,
Sharp,
yep,
Shannon,
good enough for
you
them.
know.
It's like if they ain't got no choice. So what we saying that our kids are so spoiled and drinking so much Kool-Aid that they watching ESPN so much that when they go on these visits, look at this locker room. Oh, look at this stadium, that we can't program our kids differently at some point, that we can't as the men. Is that what we're saying? See, I don't
But
have
to the
kids.
defense,
Not
to the defense of what
necessarily.
he was saying, to your defense, what you were saying about the $8 million locker room, that is true. That is absolutely true. But I'm so tired of hearing these multi-millionaire rappers talking about for the culture.
Man,
Look what Oregon did. Look at Oregon. You know why Oregon got 150 different uniforms and they got an awesome stadium? Because the CEO of Nike graduated from Oregon. So
Well,
look what they
whatever
do.
black school, they have an alumni, and their alumni association could be doing this. So again, we make
let
a
me
lot of
Denzel
excuses.
should do
let me tell
it.
you from
Denzel,
my experience. Sending my son to HBCUs for his first year and going into his graduate year. Unfortunately, once he got there, he experienced a coach that put him through some nigga shit.
right,
Okay. And he had to leave.
right.
He had to leave. So, I mean, we as a community, as a culture, that stuff has to be eliminated. He's been through 3 athletic directors this year, and nobody knew
Right?
what they were doing.
Ace, you hitting it. Me and Tori have been complaining about this shit. Remember, since we was coaching at Morgan Park,
Right.
it's coaches in the game that have no business. Have no business.
Right.
Dion prime time be talking about that. They have no business doing what they're doing, and somehow they just kept getting pushed up and pushed up and pushed up, and they're ruining programs.
Right.
And
And
this
nobody cares.
and nobody cares. Yeah.
It's a Spike Lee movie. I'm gonna tell you how influential this movie is on me. I only saw it once. Don't know the name. Can't name not one star in the movie. But it's the most influential movie I've ever seen in my life. It's the movie where these people that have lost their way, and it's a squad of brothers and sisters that go out and get them,
Drop
and they
squad.
bring them back. Well, we need that in real life.
For sure.
We need that in real life.
But
We need
bro,
that
I
in
believe
real
it's
life.
coming. I believe it's coming because
We need that in real life.
a lot of silverbacks are saying that, and so I believe that it's coming. If it, I believe it's coming. Honestly, I believe it's coming. But I want to shift to Cam, y'all, since that's what we're about. So we'll just wrap it up real quick on Cam. But before we jump into Cam, is there any pay ineptitudes, any pay inequality, I should say? Are the black quarterbacks getting less endorsement money, less salaries? Do y'all think? Now, I haven't done any research on this.
I think no, I don't believe so. I think there's so few that when they are in that position that they are afforded everything because they know. Look, We're the golden ticket to anything we do. Even with the field that I'm in on YouTube, right? It's 1,000 people doing what I'm doing on YouTube. But because I have that dynamic, I'm the star. And I recognize that. I do. I recognize that because I'm different, right? I'm different, I'm bold, and I'm loud. And they like that. Because I'm a sideshow to a lot of
Well, the dynamic is that you're standing up to 12 and you're black. That's the
the
dynamic.
dynamic, right.
Is that you doing it is
Right.
a million more times dangerous than any other race. That's the
Absolutely.
dynamic.
So and I'm an attraction for that dynamic. I am an attraction for that.
Correct.
But at the same time, now, if a black quarterback, let's say Patrick Mahomes was 100%, and he was balling like he was balling, then yeah, he'll be getting everything he's getting because you're an anomaly to them. You're still an anomaly, and we're gonna market the shit out of you. We're gonna make every cent we can off of you. Everything. And that in the meantime, that means giving you a $500 million contract. Absolutely, we're gonna do that because if he's getting a $500 million contract, how much is the league make?
All right.
Well, I mean, you got to compare a Patrick Mahomes to a Michael Vick of his era.
Michael Vick got everything. He was everywhere.
But they were slotted to take Michael Vick down.
Absolutely.
That's what happened.
Well, that was a theory I was going to get into. It seems like when we're up for the big contract, it always seems to be some improprieties or something.
He got it. He got it. As a matter of fact, he the only one got it twice. He the only one got it twice.
Yeah, but they still lose money. It was the same thing like with Ali.
Yeah.
It's like we hit a prime and they find a reason to cheapen your brand. They find a reason, it seems like. Now, I'm not saying all of them. They find a reason, though, it seems like. And it seems like they can look the other way about some of these not black ones. All of them. There's so many non-white black ones that are in the league for so long, bro. They keep getting jobs and they suck. And I'll be like, man, how's he ain't been in the league? I'm not talking about the black ones. That's a whole nother. We got to do a show on that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you two names that's gonna blow your mind. That's on the same level mythically in their individual accolades as Michael Jordan was on. They just messed up sort of and didn't get the same benefit residue benefit residual as Michael Jordan. Michael Vick was on the level of Michael Jordan to us. Yes, to us he was. To us.
I know what he's saying. You saying as far as his same thing with Iverson, as far as with that buzz they call with that generation, like with Jordan, it was it must be the shoes with Spike Lee and all that, and it was an energy. Right. Yeah. I see what you're saying. But Vic, but that's what I'm saying. But they shot Vic down, and Iverson.
They destroyed him. But I got somebody. Even though Iverson is a culture too, we still love Iverson, right? But if you leave out, if I can only give you three names that resonate.
Randy Moss, the freak. Randy Moss,
Michael Vick, Michael Jordan. Any of the names you leave off that list will be okay. But if you leave any one of those names off that list, people gonna bring them up. These kids who never seen Randy Moss play, what do they say? It's a whole term.
Man, the freak. Yeah. But Deion Sanders should be on that list too. He ain't, but he should be. Remember, they didn't like him either. They didn't like prime time.
But even though
all he did was hit baseballs and steal bases.
As great as he is, his name is not Michael Jordan. His name is not Michael Jordan. As great as he was, his name is not Michael.
Let's do a thought experiment though, Nick. If prime time was a white boy with the same thing and did the exact same thing, would you have been able to say what you just said? He was blonde and blue-eyed with the same speed, hit that baseball in Atlanta, Georgia.
You ain't got to use
for the Yankees.
You ain't got to use him. You could just use Jason Sehorn. His career was trash, but we all know who he is.
Correct.
We all know who Jason Sehorn is.
Correct.
Now, going back to the three players that you mentioned, Iverson.
No, I mentioned Randy Moss and
Freak, and Michael Vick.
Right.
and Michael Jordan.
Money.
How many of them had chips?
How many of them had what?
Championships.
Only Mike.
Right.
That's why I
Only
said
Mike.
prime
But
time should be on that.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you go and play some sandlot football, right? Every little black quarterback out there is playing Michael Vick. To this day, every black quarterback out there in the sandlot football is playing Michael Vick. Every one of them receivers is playing Randy Moss. Every basketball player is Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like
you're saying
I'm
the
not
cult,
saying like
the cult craze.
The cult,
the
right.
rock star. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The mythical figures, like you can add another head on the Mount Rushmore, but
like,
as far as
like Babe Ruth,
status,
even though he was
as
winning
far as
chips,
cult
but
status,
yeah.
As far as cult status in our community, those three definitely on the Mount Rushmore.
Well, let's shift up real quick. I'm gonna give y'all a short history with Cam, and y'all can chime in because there's some interesting facts that I had no idea about Cam. So feel free to stop and chime in whenever y'all want. So his name is Cameron. His nickname is Super Cam. So Cameron Super Cam Jarrell Newton. Uh-oh. Somebody fell? Mute your ace. All right, so I didn't know his dad, bro, was Cecil Newton Sr. He's a former safety for the 83 Cowboys and 84 Bills. Do you remember him, Nick?
Yeah, no, I don't remember him, but I know a story, yeah.
Okay. And then his brother, you know about his brother, Cecil Newton Jr., former center for the Jags?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you in Florida, so yeah, I didn't know that. And
I think he got a younger brother coming up.
Well, I don't think he coming up no more, but he was playing quarterback. Kalen, you talking about Kalen? He played quarterback for Howard, man. Yeah.
Okay.
So he was, he came up. So I don't know if he's, still playing football or what. But Cam Newton, 6'5", 245 pounds. He was a first overall draft pick in 2011, drafted by the Carolina Panthers. He was a three-sport childhood athlete. He played baseball, basketball, football. According to Cam, he quit baseball due to he acquired a phobia of being hit by a pitch. Big ass. And then he quit hoop. My baseball coach wouldn't allow that. Okay, but he quit hoops in high school. He said he became too physical. He was always, getting in foul trouble, so he pretty much stopped that. One of those stiff, just football guys. Florida recruit. He sat behind the great white hope Tim Tebow as a freshman. Heisman Trophy. I think 2-time Heisman Trophy Tim Tebow. Yeah. And so he claimed, though, that his recruiting coach kind of lied to him and misinformed him. He said he'd be getting some playing time. They was going to have more packages in, especially with Florida should have been whooping ass, but apparently they couldn't get Tebow off the field. You know how that goes. So Cam then transferred to Blinn, and from there to Auburn. 2010, he got himself a BCS national championship and a Heisman. So whoever recruited Tebow and that class, that Cam at Florida, bro, whoever that was lightning in a bottle, man. Go ahead.
Are you reading that off Wikipedia?
Some of it is off Wikipedia, yeah.
So they leaving out some key facts.
Go ahead, bro. Like I said, fill in some blanks.
He didn't transfer. Just transfer because of playing time. He was on track. He was going to get that from Tebow. He was on track for that. However, he got involved in this computer theft thing, and he had already
allegedly
had a strike.
Yeah, allegedly.
He had already had a strike. See, if he'd been at Florida State, that wouldn't have mattered. You know what I'm saying? Florida State ain't Bobby Biden coming to get you out of jail, and you gonna play the next day. You can believe that. But
hey, the officer who wrote it up would have been fired. Go ahead, bro.
Right. So that's why he went to the small school where he won a D2 national championship there as well. And then I think he almost went to Alabama. But Auburn was like, just, hey, man, Auburn showed him love, broke him off. You know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? Auburn, he let his daddy do negotiate.
Got the bag for dad. Yeah.
Yeah, dad got that bag. And I ain't mad at him.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. not that
Wow.
bad. So yeah, but
Wow. Well, no, thanks for filling filling in those blanks. And please keep filling them in because a lot of this stuff was going on in your neck of the country. So you was getting a more local news feed. Probably know some people, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So here we go. All right. So then I said he won the championship in the Heisman in 2010. AP College Player of the Year. He won the Maxwell Award. What's the Maxwell Award? Is that Offensive Player of the Year?
yeah,
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I forgot to mention he was born May 11th, 1989. Young
First,
buck. Two-time national BCS champion because I guess they're counting the one. I guess he won one. He was a freshman at Florida.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Chris Leach,
Played for
Tim Tebow.
yeah. Played for the Panthers from 2011 to 2019. Currently
Mhm.
with the Pats since 2020. I did not know he earned his sociology degree. He don't talk about that a lot because it sounds like they probably just handed it to him allegedly. Because he don't know, you know what I mean. I would be talking about that if I was getting the kind of pressure he get. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm about to
college
go get my
graduate.
master's. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. About to go get my master's if this
yeah,
don't work
right.
out.
I don't
Right,
need this.
right, right.
$100 million in the bank.
He don't want to
Go get
smack.
my master's.
He don't want to uncover that rock, and people from school gonna be like, "Wait a minute now. Now wait a minute, Cam." Big ups. All right.
Well,
NFL rookie. Go ahead, bro.
I think that has to do more with the thing that's bigger than you being a star in your particular sport. The only thing that's bigger or as big as that is your brand. And even though Michael Jordan showed the blueprint, well, Bo Jackson them showed the blueprint of a brand
Bo
beyond
Jackson. That's a
time.
whole show, man. We gotta do it.
We
Man, my
Shout
God,
out to
Bo
Bo.
Jackson. Go ahead, bro. Oh my
we
God.
we
Big
didn't
ups to
know
Bo Jackson.
we
Shoo.
didn't know that anything we do outside of sports that we can be a brand. You know what I'm saying? So the whole brand concept, because now I'm a brand. Big Nick South Florida Accountability is a brand, and I understand that, and I protect that wholeheartedly, right? So the whole brand thing then become a real concept, a real popular. I say until we started understanding like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods showed us what the brand, and then LeBron took it to another level about the whole brand.
Because
So
he
when you
came
look at
in
Cam
knowing it.
Newton, right, when you look at Cam Newton and you talk about, he hasn't talked about that sociology degree. Everything Cam Newton do that's not football is for the gram. Do it for the
Facts.
gram. Because that's
Facts.
your biggest promoter of your brand. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
So, and these millennials, man, these kids here, man, it's all
They
about,
know they know more about marketing than we do because they market to
right.
themselves differently than how we do.
Right.
Right. They market Monday. They don't market Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They market Monday. Then they market
24/7.
Tuesday. And then they
Correct.
market Wednesday. They market that particular moment. That's what's hot. This what I'm marketing. I
Correct.
don't Cam Newton ain't talking about 20 years from now. Cam
Nah.
Newton talking about what kind of hat he gonna wear the
I'm
next
selling
game.
hats. Right.
Right.
All right, but
In marketing.
all right, so we got rookie of the year 2011. First rookie to pass for 4,000 yards and first rookie to get 400 passing yards in his debut.
Mm.
He set NFL record for rushing TDs for a quarterback at 14, and he did that as a rookie. That's weird with all that running they used to do in the NFL as the quarterbacks.
Mm.
Um, but they had four running backs in the backfield. NFL career leader in rushing TDs. He was at 70 at the time of this. Three-time Pro Bowler. I thought that would have been more, but he was banged up. NFL MVP in 2015. Then they said he was plagued with injuries following the 2015 season. Before we comment, career stats: 190 touchdown passes to 118 interceptions, 5,398 rushing yards. He's got 70 rushing TDs and 31,698 total passing yards. Completion percentage is low in my mind. I want my quarterback at minimum 67%. He's at 60.1, and his rating is 85.8%. And I'm thinking that's at least 10 points below what I would want, but I could accept it if he was still running and getting all those yards. Y'all got any thoughts?
Yeah, his numbers are skewed big time. Name me a dominant wide receiver he played with.
Facts. A dominant offensive coordinator. Well, he did play with Bill Belichick, even though he's a defensive guy. But good point, Ace.
I mean, he played with Steve Smith. I believe his numbers are Hall of Fame worthy.
Me too.
MVP. He's got 30,000 passing yards. He's got 6,000 rushing yards,
and all those records.
Yeah, records and touchdowns, and he's Hall of Fame. Now, of course, he's in today's society, so they want to comment on the clothes that he wears and what he's doing every game, and being on a Patriots team where 20 players opted out because of COVID-19, and you want to blame that on the quarterback.
But do you think when you come out there? But do y'all think when you come out there and you're not humble and you call yourself Superman and you do this every time you score? And I'm not trying to be that guy and trying to come off. I just got to ask this question, though, because, I mean, we do have certain principles we live by and we teach our children certain codes.
Yeah, like you've been there before and all that.
Correct. Hindsight's 20/20. And you think maybe that led to something, because I used to hear a lot of hubbub about it. All of this and so is he kind of, do you kind of set yourself up for that? I know Ali was like that too.
Yeah, I don't think he said. I don't think we feel like that. I think if we don't like him, we don't like him because he didn't play for our team. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think we feel like that. Like, I don't see the big deal in it. Yeah, that's where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Like Cam Newton.
Hey, so I want you to take that, but you make a good point because Walter Payton acted like he got there every time he scored, and they still screwed him in the end. But go ahead, Ace. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
We want him. Hey, he's a superstar. If you don't want him to do that, stop him.
Stop him. We gonna do that. We do that for the majority.
But as a quarterback, though, don't you want to just give it up to like there used to be a time where you got a touchdown, the running back gave it up to his line, and he gave it up, right? Even the black ones, it was like a certain thing. It was a code. Like you said, I'm just playing devil's advocate. You said, man, I'll give it up to Jesus because none of this is possible. Hi, Mom. You know what I mean? And my offensive line, right? That all stopped and became, like you were talking about earlier, my brand.
Yeah, it's a team sport. I understand that, but hey, just like Money Mayweather said when he was a pretty boy Floyd, he wasn't making any money. When he became the money team,
and
he's making $100 million off fighting a guy off YouTube. So what do you want?
And Cam Newton ain't put the helmet cam on his helmet. He ain't do that. Cam Newton didn't put that helmet cam on, or any one of them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put that pylon cam. They didn't put that floating cam over the field. To highlight that particular player.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I loved it. Big Nick. He was doing all that. As long as it wasn't against the Bears, you know what I'm saying?
As long as they didn't get the Dolphins.
Right. Right. Piss you off when he do it.
I don't like the team, right? I don't like the team. I don't have a problem with individual players. And I used to have a problem with individual players, right? But then you got to, at some point, you got to think like a grown person. Like because Ryan Tannehill, the former Dolphin for the Miami, quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, was drafted in the same class as Andrew Luck, RG3, Russell Wilson. You think I'm like any one of them quarterbacks? So I remember I used to say, man, Russell wouldn't do that nowhere else. He just with the right team. Oh, man, Russell good, man.
Hell yeah, Russell good. I ain't never said that, man. Listen. I saw Russell playing in a preseason game when he was a rookie. I saw him play for 2 quarters, and I said, that dude is my quarterback. And and I said the same thing. I saw what's his name for Dallas playing right now. Same thing. Listen. Well, but I knew that he was a professional quarterback. What I'm saying, bro, it takes these geniuses, the non-melanated geniuses who are running these organizations. They got all this time and money to find the best. It takes them, because of their ego, 8 seasons, to decide that, nope, this isn't my guy. Listen, bro, and in the hood, from playing street ball, I know in the first 2 quarters, 1 quarter maybe, if this is my guy, it's
special.
Man, or this guy got the deer in the headlight looks every time we come to the end. And it don't take him. We're gonna keep working with him. And no, Man, I saw Russell Wilson. I was like, who is this guy? I had never heard of him. I happened to catch a preseason game before he was famous, for his rookie year. I'm like, man, this dude is a beast.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that year that he was drafted, they got the backup quarterback from Green Bay and gave him like $30-something million.
Right.
Come in and be their starter. And Russell beat him out in training camp. And
all the players were saying, yes. But he had a coach. His coach was known for that. The one who was cheating at UCLA.
USC,
yeah, they don't talk about that. If he's a black guy, they talk about that every day. He was cheating, and they blamed it all on Reggie Bush, just like the University of Michigan was cheating, and they blamed it all on the players. But I digress. But yeah, Pete Carroll, he was known for playing. He gonna play the best guy. That's that's what a coach should be doing.
Right.
See, what NFL got to do, what the NFL need to adopt, they need to adopt the fast food restaurant business plan. You ever notice when you walk inside a fast food restaurant, whether it's McDonald's, whoever it is, that drive-through seem to be prioritized a lot more than the walk-in?
Right? Yes.
Because where do you think the most traffic comes from? The most drive-through. Right? Yeah. And it's the same thing with the NFL. Because the faces in the stadium look like the owners, that's who they want to pander to. Yeah. But see, they're not worried about all the millions and millions of people outside that stadium. That you know what I'm saying?
They got the golden goose, and they know
the people in the stadium gonna come regardless. The white boys gonna come to the NFL regardless. If it's 100% all black kids, they gonna come. Yeah. They gonna come because nobody ain't trying to see Sid Luckman and the boys play no NFL game. They trying to see. You know what I'm saying? Russell Wilson, and they trying to see Larry Donald, and they trying to see, Chicago new quarterback. They trying to see them
Justin Fields, yeah.
They trying to see them people. So they need to stop pandering to the stadium because TV. Look, NFL is. I'd rather watch the game at home than to watch it at the stadium because the NFL is a TV sport.
Yeah,
it's a TV sport.
But they're gonna go out like the way boxing did. See. Boxing and NFL was good. Like you just said, it was on free TV. It was on TV. It was free. And all these sports, they started moving away and making it pay. Yeah, and it messes up everything all the way down to the bottom because that little poor kid needs to be able to watch that on that free channel. So he can get out there and start swinging at them baseballs and stuff like that.
Right, absolutely.
But let's hit Cam's playoffs career record. Let's take 30 seconds. He's 3-4 overall in the playoffs. His completion percentage in the playoffs is 59.8%. Does that matter to y'all? You guys are just blinded because he's black?
Well, no. Playoffs, you got to do what you got to do to win. I don't care about the percentages in the playoffs. It's win-loss in the playoffs.
Right, and it goes. There's a lot of.
And 3-4 is not so bad. 3-4 is not so bad. It's not bad. Playoff football.
I was just about to ask. I wonder how many, who has the most playoff games, period, as a black quarterback. That's a lot. 7. That's a lot for any quarterback, let alone a black quarterback. That's a lot. I wonder which black quarterback has the most.
And you know what? We definitely got to unpack Russell Wilson in this series, too, quarterback and while black. I'm going to start reaching out to some of these guys, see if one of them will say, yeah, I'll come on the show. You know, you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
Russell's got to have a high percentage of playoff wins, going to 2 straight Super Bowls and constantly in the playoffs every year. So.
Yeah. And, Russell is one of them brothers, and I don't blame him for it. Russell is one of them brothers that got to get kicked in the ass so me and you don't have to get kicked in the ass. And he understands that.
Oh, and they're not gonna find no dirt on Russell Wilson. You're not gonna have him at the strip club or getting a massage.
Right. And Russell Wilson, to me, Russell Wilson is the type of person that back in the old days, he would have put on that black face not for a job, but just so one day you don't have to put on that black face.
Correct. You talking about sacrifice? You talking about sacrifice? Sacrifice.
Take that bullet from me.
Because you could tell he's still doing it now. That's why he's with Rihanna and he's not with Becky. That's why he went out and got him a real one. Yeah, just to send a message to everybody that this is what I'm about. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, no, he left the white girl to be the black girl.
Correct.
He left the black, but I just don't see Russell Wilson going on the Breakfast Club and being a clown on the Breakfast Club.
No.
He got to take that bullet for us. He got to say that. They say, you know, stand a certain way, talk a certain way. I'm gonna do that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I think he has to be that.
Because people don't know. They thought Jordan talked all corny. Man, you would meet Jordan, man, please. He talked just like me and you, man. Hey, but I want to get into the camp incident with Cam, because I'm calling him Camp Newton. Are you guys familiar? I don't want to play it because
yeah.
You saw it, Ace?
Yeah, I heard about it. I didn't see the entire incident. I heard about it. But a young man gave Cam the business.
He was trolling him, you know. Yeah. I think it was more the case of these kids. A lot of these kids, they never been around silverbacks. I had somebody tell me that on one of the shows.
Yeah.
They never really had, but he did have a father in the picture, so he should have known better. But a lot of these kids don't know how to interact. You know, you saw his coach. His coach was like a Hispanic dude, and he was so Cam. I'll tell you what happened. Let me give you a background for any viewer who might not have seen it. So Cam was at a camp, spending his time, volunteering. And when I was a kid, it didn't matter who it was at the camp. You told me NFL, he could have been sweeping the buzz off, the fourth player off the bench. He's an NFL player. He's at this camp. What's up, sir? We took what we could get coming up, but not these kids. So he was, went in on Cam. You about to be broke. You a free agent and all this and that. Cam was saying, but I'm rich. And see, Cam's from that generation too. I got my money. I'm rich. I'm rich. And so it was a lot going on. But then Cam called himself and he started talking to the young man. And he was like, man, well, I want to talk to your dad. Like, where's your dad at? You know what I'm saying? And then he was saying that he started asking the young man, well, what is it that you did today on the field? And now he can't talk. See, he was Mr. When they having the back and forth, he was snappy. So now Cam is asking him, okay, all right, well, man, now you got Cam Newton, Ace, asking you, I don't care if it's Michael Jordan at 38. You got Michael Jordan asking you, okay, you just flipped off at the mouth, right? What you do today at this camp? We went 1-2. 2-1. So now you're retarded. And Cam was having that conversation with him, and his
You lost him?
See how I fixed that? Oh, maybe I did. But yeah, I mean, these kids nowadays are into the instant gratification, Instagram, or maybe he had a friend maybe recording this, so he felt that it was his time to lay into Cam or whatever he thought or whatever he had to do to go viral. And I guess it worked out for him, but you would think that a young man would respect a future Hall of Fame quarterback for the work that he's put in the NFL, as opposed to what he felt about him that day. I mean, the guy came to your camp. No matter what you feel about him, he is there.
I was cool with everything, but now you're gonna start nutting up when this man is talking to like you was Mr. Tough Guy. Now y'all having a conversation, and now you a kid. Now you too. You gonna see what I did on YouTube? They got my film on YouTube. And then he was like, I don't want to talk because now the camera's on me. And Cam is like, you did this. You put the cameras on you.
Right.
Now we here talk, and the coach saved him. I didn't appreciate that. His parents, Big Nick, because my immediate thing was, who is raising these people? Like, for me to think that I could do that just to go viral, just to get a buzz. I'm basically spitting in my ancestors and my elders' face, bro. Right. That's exactly what you're doing.
But sometimes we got to stop saying who's raising them, because it's obvious who's raising them. Again, and I hate to say this because I know how terrible it sounds when I say this, but $10 an hour, just as a round number, was some of the worst thing that happened to our community. Because when we started making more than the next person, the first thing we did was move up out the hood. And when we moved up out the hood, we had like we never lived in the hood, so we can no longer relate to people anymore, And I got two friends that I've been best friends with for 40 years. 40 years, right? And I was thinking the other day, like, these kids that say they are the best friends, they don't know anything about each other. Nothing, because their whole
Correct.
friendship is based on
But hold it,
impressing
hold
and
it, hold it.
competition.
But hold it, you could be poor and still raise your kids. I was raised that, it don't take it don't take money to have soap and water. It don't
No,
take
no,
money.
no.
It don't take money to say yes, sir, no, sir. It don't take money to respect your elders. So when I say who's raising these kids, I'm not out of touch with our community. What I'm
Absolutely
saying
not.
is, I would say that whether they're white or black, but the father and the mother did uh, correct him and made him apologize. But go ahead, bro. I
Yeah,
just want to make
it's a
that clear.
difference between it's a difference between you live with your parents are raising you, because you got all this technology. The
True,
school gets you in the daytime.
true,
School gets you in the daytime. You
true.
get to go hang out in the neighborhood in the evening time. The
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
television gets it the rest of the time, right?
True,
So only thing they have to do is provide a roof,
true,
uh, medical, food,
true.
clothing. That's all they got to do is provide
All
for them.
true.
So I remember I used to work at a particular restaurant. I was like 16 years old. Dan Marino was going to be at our local flea market
Man,
during the time I had to go to work,
he beat my
right?
85 Bears. Go ahead, bro.
I quit my job to go see Dan Marino at the flea market because they wouldn't let me be off that day, right? Now, the reason I'm telling you this because, like you said, I don't care. It could have been Dan Marino's backup
Yes,
line.
the guy who was holding
I'm,
the clipboard for Dan Marino.
and
Yes.
I'm not going to challenge this man because you know what?
No,
Our generation knows
I
right,
know I'm not better than him because I know that I'm not better than him at what he does.
and I have interactive experience from being outside and finding things to play and things to do. I was just telling somebody the other day because it's been raining here in
Uh-huh.
South
You're talking
Florida.
about social. Social. They're
Social
losing their
Right.
skills.
social cues.
They
Social
have
cues.
none. They don't have any. They don't have any. I was just telling
And,
somebody
hey,
it's been
Nick,
raining.
and we're getting in the second generation of this. Because if their
Right,
parents were now they're raising.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Wow.
So think about this. Think about this. I always try to drop some nuggets to make people that blow people's mind. Think about this. It's been raining the last couple of days here in South Florida, right? So I was at the store and I got trapped in the rainstorm. I just stayed right around like the next building from the store, and I was literally trapped in the rainstorm. And it made me think, when I was 13, 11 years old, on a day like this here, we had to be in the house. There was no cable. There was no cell phone. There was no video games, right? There was a television, but if you stayed with
Man.
your parents, you was in third place when it came to that TV.
Man.
Whatever they had on was what you watching.
Man.
So
So
we
now
literally,
you playing games, you playing imagination, you're doing puzzles,
these
Board
reading,
kids,
games,
yeah,
they would
yeah.
they
battleship.
would lose their mind if you took away the technology
You
today.
man, you'll sit
Right,
there and play tic-tac-toe,
Mm-hmm.
jacks. Yeah, you playing,
right.
Right.
you saying you interacting. You
I was
interacting.
the I was the only child too. I was the only child. So on a rainy day that was too terrible to go outside, I had to be in the house by myself.
Yeah,
Now there was no cell phone, there was no Madden, there was no
yeah.
HBO.
And you couldn't just pick up the phone and just be on it. The house phone, it wasn't no.
Uh,
You didn't even have call. You didn't even have call waiting. You on that phone, somebody could be trying to call me. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to call you. You ain't paying the bill. I ain't gonna
Who
tell
had
you again.
who had one of
Yeah.
them mamas? Who had one of them mamas that pick up the phone? All right, I'm ready to use my phone now.
Yeah,
All
everybody did. Yeah.
right. You master.
bro, bro.
You the man right now.
Hey, bro. And if it's late and it's a female, they like. They'll tell the young lady, go put your daddy on the phone, put your mom on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Phone is late talking to my son.
Give him here.
Man, right, exactly. Hey, so
Yeah,
so I
but
want.
back to Cam.
All right, we got you, bro. We got you. We got you. Hey, so I want to as we wrap it up, we talked about pay quality. We went through a camp. And
There the
guess we
young
kind
one
of
is.
what's that? The goat. Oh man, oh there he is, Lil Nick.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Mhm.
What's up, man? You big too.
Yeah,
Earn your
yeah,
rights. Assert your rights. Assert your rights. Eat your vegetables. You get these big muscles. Look at these muscles.
Absolutely.
Eat your vegetables.
The goat.
His mind is active. I see. Yeah, his
Like
mind
what
is
is it?
active. Yeah.
What is this medium I'm looking at? Who are those guys?
Man, he's absorbing everything, Big Nick. You got to watch
Yeah,
everything you say and do, bro.
trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, you better watch everything you say and do.
I bet, hey, and I better not see you in paternity court. I'm telling you, bro, because
Never
you,
that.
yeah, you are the father. Hey, but I want to ask y'all, man, because everybody got to get to their family, man. The GOAT. We were saving this. Who is the black quarterback that's the greatest of all time?
It should be unanimous.
Hmm.
It should be unanimous. It shouldn't even be a sigh. Come on, man.
Wait,
Michael
let me
Vick,
think.
man.
Let me think it through because I didn't even think this through. No, it ain't. I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
Vick,
say
man.
from what I saw. You saying Vic? I'm gonna say Randall Cunningham, man. I
Randall
almost,
Cunningham,
I almost want to say your boy. Y'all was just talking about.
Warren Moon.
Man, you got Warren Moon. You got the one y'all was just talking about at Seattle. Because
Russell
they
Wilson.
winning chips and winning playoff games.
what it
Yeah.
was, what season it was, the 98 season. Was it Randy Cunningham, Randy Cunningham, Randy Moss, Chris Carter.
Man,
What the little
man.
running back name was? What the running back name was? He retired early.
Waters. Ricky Waters.
No,
Yes.
no, it was Robert. It was Robert. Robert Smith.
Yeah, he got
Robert
knee
Smith.
problems, something. Yeah,
Like, yeah, he retired, and he was on his way to the Hall too.
Yeah.
That was a bad whatever.
Yeah.
Now, Randy Cunningham was the quarterback on that team. Put Vic on that team. It's over with.
Vic couldn't throw like Cunningham, though, man.
Go research Vic. Go watch Vic.
Bro, he's like a career 60% completion.
Who did he play with? Who did he play
I mean, I get it, but
Who did he play with?
listen, I love Vic. I love the cornrows. You know, I love the dog shows. I loved all of that. Ace will tell you, I defend my people, boy. My brothers be like, he's a serial killer. I'd be like, they be talking about John Wayne Gacy. I'd be like, was he black? He got any black in him? You know, no. All right. I be defending my people, but I mean,
in the history of football, in the history of the NFL, there's only been one player to ever.
I'd say he was probably the most exciting. So that's a different.
It's only been one player.
I'm gonna say Carrot Top. I gotta say Carrot Top for Kansas City.
It's only been one player in the history of the NFL that had $200 million contract.
I'm going with Carrot Top from Kansas City. What's his name?
Okay. Yeah, Froggy.
Yeah.
Mahomes.
I'm going with Mahomes. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Vic.
There's only one that's had $500 million contract.
You wouldn't be saying that if Mahomes. You wouldn't be saying that if Mahomes' mama was black.
No, I would. Vic,
no, y'all wouldn't.
Vic,
y'all all would be sitting on Mahomes.
Look, I seen Vic.
Y'all would be sitting on Mahomes. Look at Mahomes' numbers. He's winning chips. He's getting his Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, he did. He did, but you didn't hear about him until he got to the pros.
And he did come in there throwing to everybody. He had everybody to throw to. Man,
right.
He had everybody in that system.
But he wasn't doing that at Texas. He wasn't doing that at Texas A&M.
Correct. He didn't have everybody to throw to. That's a good point.
Well, I mean, also Kansas City before he got there, they went a couple of years where the wide receivers were catching 1 or 2 touchdowns. So I mean,
that's
but
true.
He ain't been around. You know what, Ace? I'm going to agree with you, Warren Moon. I'm gonna say Warren Moon, and it probably was gonna be the one from the Redskins we were talking about earlier.
Doug Williams.
Yeah, but I'm going to say Warren Moon, man, greatest of all time. And they took his prime too. Remember, he had to go. He went and played in the CFL or UFSL. Or something.
USFL. They wanted to pay him.
I'm gonna say Warren. I can't give it to Vic. They took his prime too. They took Vic's prime too. So that's a shame, man. We couldn't even see Vic. Took his prime. I probably wouldn't be having this conversation with you if he didn't. You know what I mean? They took his prime, bro.
It's like in basketball, you had to build like a perfect team. I couldn't take Allen Iverson, even though he's probably my all-time favorite player, because I feel like that'd be disrespectful to Zeke. So Zeke got to start on my team.
I'm gonna say I'm not gonna argue with that at all. And Zeke is not gonna go on a rant about practice.
That was blown out of proportion.
It was. It was. But Zeke won a championship in the high school level, college level, and 2 in the pros. So, you know what I mean? I'm talking about. I know people who know Zeke, bro.
Yeah.
The work ethic means something. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to take nothing from Iris.
I know, but see with the
partying
whole
all night and drinking Big Nick before games. Come on, man. I mean, you can say it don't matter, but it does matter.
It does, man.
And but he took the second worst team in NBA history to the final.
Correct.
He had the worst team until LeBron took that trash Cleveland to the final.
And he wasn't playing with nobody. When you say second worst,
it was the second worst. LeBron was the worst.
Tyrone Hill.
That Cleveland team was the worst. That was the worst team in the finals.
No.
Oh man, you can't even name nobody.
That's a good question. Who would win in that series? That Cleveland team against that Allen Iverson team? That's a good question.
Allen will win. I think Philly will win.
We got to do that on the video game, man.
But can we name anybody from that Cleveland team?
Yeah, they had that one All-Star.
What they had Larry Hughes,
Eric Snow.
They had a point guard. No, he said the Cleveland team with LeBron.
Yeah, wasn't Eric Snow on that team?
Was he on both of them?
He was on both, damn, but he didn't start. They had the other one. Remember, he was like a guard, offensive, and then he was nothing.
Darren McKee.
Once LeBron.
Yeah, that was Philly. That was Philly.
What was this dude's name? But that's another show. That's another show.
But see what I'm saying? That's why I say the Philly team. We can name the players. Almost name Matt Geiger. We could almost name the team on the Philly team. We can't name nobody but LeBron and Larry Hughes.
Larry Hughes, yeah. And the Verjo and
the Jonas Ilgowski.
Hey, but Iverson got 2 wins in that series and didn't go running off like a little bi.
No, he only got one.
He didn't run off like a little bi crying and throw his jersey and then leave and go to Miami after that. He didn't do none of that. All because his mom was allegedly sleeping with his teammate. Allegedly.
He's still the GOAT. Don't care what you say. He's the GOAT.
Go to what?
And I'm not.
Listen.
And I preface that.
Listen.
I'm not like a fan of his, but I think he's the greatest all time.
He couldn't even figure Kobe out. And Kobe Bean was Jordan's understudy. And Kobe Bean owned him. He couldn't even figure Kobe Bean out.
Yeah, and Akeem owned Shaq until Shaq called up and Akeem went in his prime no more.
And Jordan was 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs.
Couldn't do it without Scotty.
And LeBron couldn't do it with all those people he went and chased chips with from all those different cities. He went from city to city.
See, he ain't gonna let me get it because he know I'm not a Jordan fan.
Yeah, he does this every time.
And it has nothing to do with basketball.
No.
There would be no NBA without Michael Jordan.
I agree with that.
Let me tell you my only gripe with LeBron. Again, it goes back to the humility. You don't come around and go chase a chip and I'm taking my talents in Miami and go play with the best players and then I'm the best player just because World Wide West told you so. Even when they asked Michael Jordan had better sense of that, was raised better than that, had better respect for the game and his fraternity and the Silverbacks that came before him. Michael Jordan would say, it's never for me he did. Check the history. He'll say it to this day. It's never for me to say who's the best. He would say that, and he would say somebody before him was better. Michael Jordan didn't do that as a player. LeBron started playing that nonsense, trying to control the narrative, and I'm better than man. Please, I cannot respect that as a man. I'm talking about as a man. Now everything else, he's cool, but as a man, well, go ahead, bro. I can't respect.
Can I ask you a question about Jordan? Yeah. Absolutely, he acknowledged those that's before him. But can you remember any players that he gave flowers to, played with him or behind him?
Yes. Pippen.
Who he gave flowers to? He didn't get no flowers to Pippen.
Dennis Rodman.
He never gave flowers to them boys.
Yeah, he did.
No, man. They were going on his team, but he didn't give him no flowers. Michael Jordan don't get nobody no flowers. He didn't get Kobe his flowers. He just don't. Anytime somebody bring up LeBron being the GOAT, Mike got to come out and say some disrespect.
Well, again, because they shouldn't be asking him that. That's like, bro, that's like somebody doing what you do, and then people come to you talking about, is he the GOAT? And I mean, seriously, that's like, and you looking at, you mean the guy who's moving from city to city and teaming up with. I mean, I'm just trying to say. You mean that guy who's out here telling everybody he's the GOAT? That guy who's literally telling. If I ask you if you're the GOAT, you're not going to say you're the GOAT. You know what I mean? You've got more sense than that. You're rubbing people the wrong way.
Ships can't be the measuring stick. Ships can't be the measuring stick.
You won a championship in the bubble?
Ships can't be a measuring stick.
And then didn't do nothing this season. Nothing. You know, and then what you going to say? He wasn't playing with nobody this year? He wasn't playing with nobody.
You got suspended for gambling for 18 months. You got suspended for gambling for 18 months. You know what I'm saying?
But what happened to LeBron this season? He wasn't playing with nobody this season. I'm going to say this, too. Jordan had went to the playoffs, Big Nick, every year of his career, even in Washington.
So is LeBron. LeBron just lost the first round for the first time in his career. For the first time in his career, he just lost in the first round. Jordan didn't win. Jordan took 6 years to even know what a win in the playoffs felt like.
Well, if he'd switch cities, like
and if he would have lost 4 championships.
Look, I understand where y'all
come on, you're losing championships.
I understand where y'all coming from. Me personally, as somebody who number one sport, number one passion is basketball.
Big Nick,
played basketball
you laced them up, Big Nick. You played, and I'm talking about by playoffs and championships. So once you get playing for a chip, a chip, you lucky to play 50-50 ball in a chip. This man won 6 chips and 6 MVPs. Now, if you laced them up, and I'm talking about chips.
And I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm gonna go back and say, well, I told you chip's not a measuring stick because Robert Horry got 7. But
no. That's nonsense talk. Robert Horry doesn't got 7. Robert Horry was playing in the back of Shaq. He was playing on the back of Kobe, whoever the hell he was playing with. If that's the case, Craig Hodges got 3. I mean, come on, we can do this all day. I mean, no.
Bill Russell got 13.
Correct.
Okay. But I'm gonna say this. As a basketball player, I play under Jordan rules. My whole game is Michael Jordan.
Hey, but Bill Russell got losses in the chips too. But go ahead, you play.
My whole game to this day is Michael Jordan, right? And people still around here that know basketball will still say this is Michael Jordan's game, but it's not Michael Jordan's game anymore. I'm gonna tell you who game they playing in the NBA right now. They playing Allen Iverson's game. Everybody playing Allen Iverson's game right now. That's Allen Iverson's game that they playing in the NBA. I played Jordan game. Up until Allen Iverson came, everybody played Allen Iverson game. I mean,
crossovers, step backs, all that.
The whole league, this Allen Iverson game right here, everybody played.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that. I believe everybody played Dr. J game, everybody played Magic game.
I'm glad he mentioned that, because if Jordan played in this crap with these soft centers and this spread out, come on, man.
He'll be another good player. He'll be another great player.
All right.
It's different rules.
All right, Big Nick.
Look, you can't blame me. Hold on.
Hey, Lil Nick, put your daddy to sleep. Lil Nick.
You can't blame me.
Lil Nick, put your daddy to sleep.
You can't blame me for saying, ouch, that pinch hurt when I ain't never been pinched before. That ain't my fault. It's our fault that these players aren't getting pinched anymore because we was complaining about seeing a 76 to 72 NBA game. We was complaining about
I wasn't. We was winning chips at that.
Well, okay, yeah. But look what happened. It changed it.
You might have been complaining.
These players
We wasn't complaining.
These
white people were complaining.
Right.
They made the game more of a white player's game so that its athleticism doesn't matter. And they've done a mind trick. They've done a mind trick on everybody that this is playing the game the wrong way, the right way. It's the same dog whistle that they used to blow before Jordan came into the league, that you got to pass, cut. And now what they've done, Big Nick, is condition the whole league back to this so that now you can have a bunch of people come over from Europe and stand around stiff and play basketball. It's not basketball anymore.
But if you think these players, if you think just because you put them in the era with X-Men and Karl Malone and all these people, you think Kevin Durant still ain't gonna be Kevin Durant because he get foul hard?
Yeah, he won't.
Yeah,
he won't be playing.
Man. No,
he won't be playing.
No, man, no athlete.
He would be playing different.
Think like that.
They didn't let you. You didn't come up and shoot Jordan. Yeah,
We
but
don't have
Jordan
to
had
be.
to learn.
None of us don't think like that.
Bro, that's what made Jordan so great. He was on the court every game. He wasn't taking rest off. He didn't need days for rest.
Load
Other players
management.
were getting hurt. Michael was playing. Pippen was playing. That's what made them great.
I'm
Dennis
not
Rodman was
saying.
playing. Your best ability
I'm.
is your availability. They played
I'm
every night.
but if you gonna tell me 6'8", 270 pounds that move at a 4.4 pace is not going to be able to do that
Now when
back
Charles
then,
Oakley and Dennis Rodman is getting in his face and telling him that his
Craig
mom is
Elo
sleeping
did it.
and telling him that his mom is sleeping with his co-worker.
Craig Elo did it. John Stockton did it. Detlef Shrimp did it. Come
Craig
on, man.
Elo averaged 6 points a game.
Them boys would be in the league. They wouldn't play today.
Who, Craig Elo?
No, he ain't playing in the day.
He's a 3-point shooter. He would play.
Yeah,
He would
no.
thrive in today's league. It's about no athleticism.
He won't get on the court because you can't guard nobody, and everybody guarding the hell out of your stiff ass.
You don't
They're
have to
not
guard
playing
anybody.
defense.
Man,
There is no
man,
defense, Big Nick.
What?
Look, when it comes
The
to
scores are 140 to 120, Big Nick. This is why they changed the rules.
That's because the talent is so great. Look, I'm gonna put all my cards on the table and say this. Right?
All right.
Put all my cards on the table and say this. When it comes to sports and athleticism, I'm never taking the old school over new school in anything.
Well, you're
Only
talking about
sports.
athletic ability versus talent. You got who's the best 5 in the league now?
Right now, the best 5, regardless of position.
No, period.
Yeah, and why can't the world record be broken every year in sprints?
Kevin Durant, number 1. Kevin Durant, number 1. James Harden might be number 2. It's too many to
5?
give you top 5. It's too many to give you top 5.
No.
But that means, but I'm saying using that logic, the world record would be getting broken in like sprints almost every 3 years. Using that logic, the common track player will be able to just beat Jesse Owens because today they're so much smarter and better. But I can argue and say they're eating more BS. I can argue and say they're taking all these supplements. Yeah, it factors in. Yeah, yes, yes.
So that's why I'm always go. You got to go with the technology. You got to go with whatever they had back then versus what they got now. And that's why I'm always pick right now.
Well,
right?
your boy, Nick, your boy Isaiah Thomas said if he played in today's league, Isaiah Thomas said if he played in today's league, he would score 44 points a game.
Isaiah Thomas is probably the greatest point guard of all time. See, to me, those be bad narrative arguments because you taking somebody that's an anomaly, right? You taking somebody that's an anomaly.
But he didn't average 44 points in the league we're talking about. And this man who you love is saying that if he played in today's league, and other players said that's how they feel. These are the guys who played the sport.
And they always go back and ask Evander Holyfield how he would do against Anthony Joshua, right? And he gonna always, but Anthony Joshua will beat your ass, Holyfield.
So you think Anthony Joshua would beat a prime Muhammad Ali using your logic?
I do.
Wow. Okay, Big Nick. All right, little Nick, put Big Nick. Little Nick,
you know what?
Put Big Nick to bed.
But because I'm a boxing fan, a lot of people might not understand who Anthony Joshua is, so I go with one I've been saying for years. 21-year-old Mike Tyson to destroy 21-year-old Muhammad Ali.
You ever heard of Joe Frazier?
Yeah.
Who else?
So hold
on. George Foreman.
Okay, now all those names you name it, right? Because I understand the iconic status that Muhammad Ali.
No, we're talking about the punches they were throwing.
I love them too. With any one of those cats, and if y'all know boxing at all, y'all will be honest with yourself. With any one of those cats, the boxer Mike Tyson. Because Mike Tyson is a boxer.
Well,
Mike Tyson was fighting bums.
Okay. Big Nick, using your logic, you at 19 would get your ass whooped in a ring or outside the ring of any 19-year-old with the tight pants today. That's the logic you're using. You at 19 playing basketball couldn't even compete against a 19-year-old playing basketball today because they're somehow more athletic and somehow more genetically better in one simple generation. That somehow that's that much better. That's not how evolution works. It doesn't work that fast. It takes millions and millions of years.
No, but you got So right, you're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right about that. But you also got to say, well, 19-year-old Nick versus at that skill level as 19-year-old Nick versus that same skill level as 19-year-old 2021. That person's probably going to be bigger, faster, and stronger than what I was at 19. He probably will be. He probably see. I tell you, you got to bring all the dynamics. Got to be the same with me. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what would happened if Michael Jordan was on the regiment that they on today. I don't know. I just
So
know
you
about
don't
Michael
know.
Jordan.
So you don't
But I just
know
know.
what happened.
Uh,
You don't know what a guy who you saw who wasn't on the regiment, right?
no,
What he
I'm not.
did.
I'm not. I'm not
So
doing that.
you can't extrapolate if he was on. You
No,
can't.
all I'm doing is comparing the regiment that Michael Jordan was on in
Well, let me say this.
1987
Your boy
compared
LeBron
to.
James is allegedly on steroids. Now, hate to bust your bubble. People
Can
don't
I
want
ask
to
you a
have this
question?
conversation. And then they say, well, everybody's on it. It's this era. Well, he's on steroids. And if I was on steroids, I would have been better than Isaiah Thomas. And I'm gonna say that
Let me ask you a
allegedly.
question.
Allegedly.
Let me ask you.
And
Did, did, did,
so is Brady, allegedly. Because I'm
did
not stupid.
steroids?
I play sports, and the things they're doing is impossible. And they're telling lies about the
Supplements.
vitamins and supplements. And I'm going to a compression. Yeah, shut up. You're
Do,
a hustler. But go ahead, bro. I want to hear. I
do you
want to hear your
believe?
retort.
Do you believe steroids help with hand-eye coordination?
I believe steroids. No, I believe
Do
steroids
you
help.
believe?
I believe steroids help you get strong. They help you stay on the court.
Right. So, but it don't help you with hand-eye coordination,
No,
right? So it
but you
only
could
helps
play
with
an
how?
extra. You could play from the time that you're 17. You could play for how many years now has it been?
But okay, I understand that. I understand that. I'm not talking about all. When I speak, I'm speaking strictly on your skill, and steroids don't give you skill.
No, I agree.
Right? So I'm strictly whether LeBron is on steroids or not, you can't take away his skill.
No, no. Well, then he shouldn't be taking steroids. Why would you take steroids and risk ruining your body if it's not helping you? No, no, no. You've been taking these recent arguments, Big Nick, and I don't know what sports feed you listening to, but I reject 95% of it, bro, with all due respect.
Okay,
No, no, no. No, no, no. It's not okay that he's taking steroids and that ain't
I
making
didn't
him
say it
better.
was.
Why
I
are they
didn't say it
taking it?
was.
Why would you risk your brand if it's not giving you an advantage, Nick?
I don't know if he is or not. I personally haven't heard the story,
If
so I don't know. I don't know. All
right,
I'm
allegedly. Right,
operating.
right,
I'm
right,
operating off the information.
right,
I'm
right.
just operating off the information
But
that I have.
but Big Nick, I'm
But
just saying, bro, that if steroids didn't give an advantage, these people wouldn't be doing it. Wouldn't be a big steroid industry.
if I'm just an average driver, right, drive my Honda Accord around town every day, right,
Right, right, right.
just average driver, and you are a professional stock car driver,
Yeah,
and I put you in, and I put you in a regular Corvette, and I get in your stock car,
yeah.
who's gonna win that race?
If I'm the professional, I'm gonna win.
Absolutely. So just because I'm in this bigger car, there's all this souped up nitrous and shit that don't make me gonna win.
But when they're both professionals and they're
Right.
both playing at a high level, and one of them has a souped up car and the other one's in a Prius, who's gonna win?
The guy
It depends if it's a game of skill.
So
Again, I'm
all
just going by the skill. I'm just going by the skill, bro. I'm
well,
just
I
going
mean,
because steroids didn't help Barry Bonds hit the ball. It might have helped him hit it out the park if he did take them, but it didn't help him
why would anybody
for that
risk
ball.
shrinking their genitals and whatever else that steroids supposedly cause? Risk their whole brand, their livelihood, bro. People are losing their jobs. Why would they do that if it's not some sort of advantage? Now, answer that question.
Well, you ever walked in Ruth's Chris? You ever walked in Ruth's Chris and you got a table and didn't have to pay just because you was who you are?
No, no, no.
So that's why they do that shit. That's why they do it. Because, they gave Alex Rodriguez, how much they gave him? $225 million? At
They
the
didn't give
time,
him
that
that
was
for
a
taking steroids.
Yeah.
shit. He
They
was on
gave
steroids. He
right,
was
but
on
they
steroids.
didn't pay him for taking steroids. They paid him for his production on the
No,
baseball
no,
field.
no.
So why
No,
would he
you
take
think
steroids if he was going to get the same production without them? Goes back to that question.
Maybe he wasn't going to get that money. Maybe he
They weren't
knew it.
testing for it.
So maybe he wanted to make sure he was going to get that money. The reason people do things are myriad of reasons. It's a myriad of reasons. And I understand, you know, and I don't agree with him. I don't think that it's the end all be all. I don't think the casual sports fan or that particular sport give a hoot whether a player did steroids or not. I think only the locked in sports fans of that particular sport cares.
I mean, Barry Bonds didn't.
I don't give a damn about Barry Bonds or Sammy.
So if you're in a boxing ring and somebody's on, if you're playing against, you don't care if you're competing against somebody on steroids? In basketball and football? Yes.
Me personally?
Yes.
Yeah, I care personally.
Why do you care? Why do you care?
I care personally.
Why? Why do you care?
Because I feel like it's giving them an unfair advantage.
This is what I've been talking about.
What he's saying.
I don't care.
But so we agree that steroids would give someone an unfair advantage.
It's been proven a lot. The healing factor.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Factor. Okay, well, yes, that's okay.
Look, I never disagreed with you. All I'm saying is
I misunderstood.
I'm eliminating what steroids do because it don't add to it's not the skill. It doesn't give you
Big
skill.
Nick. Your argument has been made. I've had other brothers make that same argument with me. That's why I've been having this back and forth with you, bro. You know, I hear that. And I'm just wondering, well, then if steroids is okay, then just everybody can just take them.
Nobody's saying steroids is okay. Nobody's saying steroids is okay. But if steroids are gonna give me the chance to see a motherfucker hit 73 home runs,
you okay with it? So if steroids is gonna give you a chance to see a horse break Secretariat's record,
I don't care about that. So yeah, it's just something I see, but I don't care about
it. But it bastardizes the record. You might as well short lower the rim and then say I won the dunk contest.
Do you want to take away Roger Maris, right? Was recognized. No, Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron is recognized as being, you know, the home run king.
He is.
Right? Do you care? Do you honestly care if Barry Bonds has the most? Do you honestly care?
Yes.
You do?
Barry Bonds, the only reason he said, well, he was like OJ. He said, well, if I was going to take steroids, it would be because everybody else was doing it. Now, I don't know if he did it or not. You know what I mean? Right. You know what I'm saying? But so he was.
Do he belong in the Hall of Fame? Do he belong? Would you put him in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Okay.
And I believe he was headed to the Hall of Fame before he ever did any steroids.
Right.
But I believe his numbers are skewed. He still would have had Hall of Fame numbers. They'd have been different. He'd have had like 40 steals every year, 40 home runs, Gold Glove. But he sacrificed all of that for steroid ball. You know, the big head, the big body. You know, he lost his defense, his ability to range in the field. And remember, Barry used to rob home runs. Barry used to steal bases. He lost all of that. He traded on and became just a guy who couldn't even run.
And in the meantime, Mark McGwire was getting traded from Oakland to St. Louis, making bang, and he knew he was better than Mark McGwire. And
Correct.
you know, and that ego, man, man.
Can you imagine if Ken Griffey Jr. would have taken some juice? Now he didn't take it.
Let me tell you, that'd be the most devastating thing that ever happened to baseball right now. It's gonna come out right now. For real. That'd be the most devastating thing. I don't care what they say about baseball.
Bro.
That's their true golden boy. You know that, right?
Yes, bro. Imagine Doc Gooden on steroids.
That's more imaginable because of his drug history. But
he might have killed somebody.
If it come out that Griff was on steroids, that'll break baseball. That'll break it. That'll break baseball. It'll devastate him.
Hey, but we got it, bro. But Big Nick, let me ask you a quick question, man, before we end it. Your that St. Louis team, man, the Cardinals, with Ozzie. You remember when Ozzie, it was using speed, man, and Willie McGee.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't no steroid use on that team. See, that was a whole different way of baseball, bro. And that's when the brothers were starting to come in the league. And then all of a sudden, the game changed. That's what I'm telling you. They keep moving the bar on us in all these sports, bro. Yeah.
They fought around and let Darryl Strawberry big ass get in the league. And like, how are we going to compete with this? What Darryl Strawberry was about 6?
If Strawberry was on, and see, no, it was Albert Bell. That was one of the dudes that Bond saw getting a big contract. he was like, these bums, because he played baseball with them coming up. He's like, these
Yeah.
bums are getting these big contracts. Yeah.
And he got big ass Vlad over there not using gloves, slapping home runs out the park. Like, damn, Vlad. Man, can you go put up the gloves, Vlad? These people know you on something, man. You hit this ball with no gloves on, bro.
You ain't even mentioned my boy Sammy Sosa. He turned white. Sammy Sosa took so many steroids. He's white now.
Y'all cats couldn't even play defense. All of a sudden, y'all making all this money, man. Come on, man. Canseco couldn't even catch a fly ball.
Sammy couldn't either.
Sosa was garbage in defense.
Garbage. He was garbage.
But they played him in right field, right? You know, that's the weakest position on the field, right?
Yeah.
That's where they put the dunks at. They put the dunks at first base. I mean, at second base and in right field.
And sometimes you're right. And sometimes first, depending on how good. Yeah. Right. But hey, you seen Sammy Sosa though recently? He looks white, bro.
He bleached. But that's a Dominican thing, though. That's a Dominican thing.
You think he bleached himself?
Yeah, Jim Crow was harder on them than it was us.
Wait a minute. Yeah. You think he bleached himself? He said he got some sort of disease.
They don't identify as black in the Dominican Republic.
I know. I be trying to tell people that.
They erected a statue of the black gentleman. He made him take it down and fix his face, make him look white.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were talking about Sammy Sosa, bro. We didn't check out all off topic. But hey, bro, y'all do a wrap up, man. Close it out, man, because it's supposed to be an hour and a half show, and this has been great. Yeah. This one's been epic, man. It's been truly epic.
Before you wrap it up, I want to, before I got cut off, I want to mix up about the hitters in Chicago. You got Sammy Sosa on the north side, and you got Big Frank on the south side. Big Frank
he was a natural. He wasn't juicing up.
Yeah, he wasn't juicing. And you got Sammy Sosa, who was hitting 70 home runs. You got a guy that is in the Hall of Fame and a guy who
turned white.
Exactly. So,
but see, Frank Thomas, man, you know what? You got to be either from Chicago or you got to be a baseball fan that even knows who he was. Because
I knew he was a Hall of Famer. The first time I saw him hit a baseball. Go ahead, bro. Nick, go ahead. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah.
He was one of those. Frank Thomas is the brother by default.
Yeah. Like Lovie Smith.
And like Karl Malone. Karl Malone.
Yeah.
Brothers by default. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The first time I heard Karl Malone talk, I was taking him.
Hey, Karl Malone, he probably begged to go to Utah. You know what I mean?
Look, man.
Yeah, he's got to be a focus of one of these segments. They call him a creep.
Who?
Brothers by default. Karl Malone. Oh,
I didn't know that. I never heard that. No, he said creep.
Yeah, he was hitting on Kobe's wife.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Plus some other things he allegedly did.
Come on, we gotta say allegedly. You got a big platform too, Big Nick. So you gotta watch yourself out here, man.
It's a few out there that's brothers.
They thirsty out here.
They brothers by default, man. Dennis Rodman, brother by default. But I think Dennis Rodman default. I don't think Dennis Rodman brother by default. I think Dennis Rodman a brother by self-hatred.
He is, but he was in the foster system, and the white people took him in, so that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
when they took him in, when he got in, because he ain't took him in when he went to the black college.
They took him in. Didn't they take him in around that time? He was a foster. Yeah. They the ones who got him involved. Yeah. Go ahead, Ace. Go ahead.
He was put out of his home, and then he went to the school, and he had nobody to help him or take care of him. So his family took him in, and they became his family.
Yeah.
But can I say this? I think he would have been the one I would have been friends with on that whole team, though.
Who, D-Rod?
I think me and Dennis would have been cool. I wouldn't. I think we'd have been cool just because of the free spirits we both have.
He took you out a couple times. You're like, hey, hold on.
Now we definitely would have fought. I definitely would have fought his big ass now.
Ryman, no, he would D-Rod wouldn't have came at you like that, man.
No.
You was more likely to get into it with Mike.
Yeah.
Had you on a couple scenes in Chicago that
Yeah. D-Rod was a party. He was partier, man. That's all D-Rod was doing, bro. You'd have loved him, Big Nick. D-Rod didn't care about nothing. And then, but bro, he'd be out partying at 4, 5 in the morning like Iverson. He'd be out and man.
32 rebounds.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you force them not to go to the party, he'll show up to the game and lay an egg, wouldn't he, Ace?
Yeah.
If they made him stay in at night, and that's what Jordan had to tell management. Nah, man, y'all let this dude. You know what I'm saying? Let that dude, man. Yeah.
He'll be here.
Because he
was gonna do what he do.
Because he was having pain, man.
I got to get the little Nick. But I'm asking.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm gonna get it, but let me ask you a question. Because this player remind me of Dennis Rodman on another level. Ron Artest, one of the most underrated brothers that ever come to the NBA.
The Bulls drafted
him. Ron Artest was a baller, man.
The Bulls drafted him. I hated when they got rid of him.
Yeah. He was kicking it on the south side.
He could have easily been the best player on any team he ever played for. He had that kind of talent.
But like I said, he was getting involved with like Farrakhan, and it's a certain way you move in Chicago where they'll get you out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They see you walking around with certain gangsters, you know what I'm talking about? Big
They want you living downtown or in the north suburbs, and that wasn't his lifestyle. So they had to get him out of Chicago.
But you can't be running around with ex-Black Panther Bobby Rush. You can't be running around with, Jesse Jackson. But go ahead, bro. Handle your business, man.
What I remember about Ron Artest, though, is that if the best player, so-called best player on that team was down, you looked in the box scores, Ron Artest, 36, 14, and 8. You know what I'm saying?
Because he played to win the game. He played to win. And one thing you can't take away from Jordan, he played to win the game.
Yeah. But it ain't got nothing to do with basketball. I'm not a fan of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It ain't got nothing to do with basketball. I know. I think he turned himself into a brother by default.
Hey, he turned a lot of them. Bro, once your brand get to a certain point, man, you got to go one way or the other. You'll see. It's gonna be one way or the other. Hey, Jigga, big ups to Jigga, big ups to Sabunto. What's his name? From Biggie. He had found Biggie. P. Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a certain level I'm saying. Yeah, when you get to like that level Drake is on, you don't see Drake. Drake will start getting cornier and cornier and whiter and whiter over the years.
I don't know. I don't know.
Think about Rick Ross.
Eddie Murphy. We can go up and down the list. It happened to the Jackson family.
I don't think Jay-Z had to do it. I think Jay-Z did it because he sold us out for this.
Yes, that's why they all do it.
But he didn't have to do it.
None of them have to do it.
Right? Eminem to me is the greatest rapper of all time. But black person. I base things differently. That's all. I just base different. And my criteria makes them number one. It's all subjective. Right?
Yes, it is. But
it's all subjective.
Yeah,
like you got a criteria. You got a criteria that makes somebody the greatest. My criteria.
Hey, I be trying to get him on with Coach. Man, hey, my boy Coach, boy, y'all, boy, hey, Coach, yeah, I've been telling him. Hey, you like my boy Coach? He a Packers fan. He live in the Shy. Y'all got a lot of the same point of views. Yeah, he did the show last week. I wish he was on this week with you, bro. He'd be saying, that's what I've been saying.
Coach was on last week?
Yeah, Coach was on last week.
Oh, I didn't see it. I got to go back and.
Yeah, you got to check it out, man. Coach was on last week. Hey, but y'all, hey man, give y'all, hey Big Nick, say what you gonna say, and then get your final rap, and then Ace, you get your final rap, so we can close this out.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right here. None of them rappers went out and robbed the bank. You know what I'm saying? None of them did that. But it's okay for them to rap about that. But Eminem rap about what he rap about is a problem. I don't understand that. The man take words and make stories and put them. I mean, Mystical is the greatest storyteller of all time. Eminem just the greatest lyricist of all time, in my opinion.
Hey, Elvis is the king of rock. So
no, absolutely not.
I mean, in my opinion,
absolutely not.
In my opinion,
Little Richard, you got to get out of Little Richard.
In my opinion, Elvis, by my criterion, Elvis Presley is the king of rock and blues and rhythm and blues. But
I know you're being facetious. All right,
Hey.
check out Big Nick Top on accountability. Anytime, I'm there for you. Anytime you want me back, brother, you know I'm always back. It's been a real blast.
Hey, man. Hey, Big Nick, it gets better and better every time, bro. I love you, sir. I love you, man.
Appreciate you.
My name is Change the Rap World. All right. Peace out. Be safe, y'all.
Hey, yes, sir. One
Take
love.
care, my brother.
All right, hey, so you got your rap, bro?
Yeah, going back to the show tonight, as far as QB'ing while black,
yeah,
in the NFL, it's a great thing to see the progression of the black quarterback in the NFL by their skill level, as opposed to being put on the sideline based on their color and not having offenses geared toward the skills of these particular players, like we had to witness in the Vince Evans era, or where they were trying to make these supreme athletes into drop back passers, when, as Randall Cunningham showed you, they can do both. They can run the ball, they can do the read option, and they can pass the ball for 70 yards in the air if they needed to. So hopefully these quarterbacks continue to progress, especially in Chicago with the young Justin Fields, that we can go on and win a Super Bowl with this young guy, just like the Kansas City Chiefs have done. And hey, they get the roses while they're here, and they're not put down in their prime as far as they're off the field event or whatever, is put on them as particular athletes, as what's going on in Houston, that these guys get to achieve the stardom that they're destined for. So hopefully that continues on for all of these quarterbacks that are coming into the league with all these skills that should be recognized and used. Yeah. And for next week, I want to throw out there the idea of Pretty Boy Floyd versus the money team Floyd Mayweather,
versus white privilege.
Yeah.
The whole thing that's going on now.
Yeah,
it's slavery all over again. Let's get the old. It's been going on for a while, like with George Foreman. Let's get the old black champ way past his prime, and let's get him in the ring with some pink guy to beat the crap out of him. That's what they all hope.
Beat the hell out of him, and then we could talk about him and
say his whole career was a fraud.
It was a bust. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but then when they lose, but we'll save it. Yeah, it's a great topic. Yeah, we'll save that. Yeah, we'll save that for next week. Yeah, it's a great topic, bro. Great topic. And I just want to, man, like I'll wrap on this topic, QB'ing while black. Any young guys out there, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Just have at it. Just have at it, and don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Study the history of the black quarterback so that you can know where you are in reference to the elders and the ancestors. I think that information would give you some great perspective, and then it would give you, I think, an idea of how to quote unquote carry yourself, as you're, managing these organizations. So, like, as a younger man, Ace, I would, be under the impression, well, yeah, I mean, they could express themselves, and yeah, they can. You can, but just like any other job, if you're the director of operations and they're cool with you at Google coming in with jeans and cornrows and dreads, and if they're cool with that, then yeah, you can roll like that, right? Mm-hmm. But if your particular organization isn't cool with that, then at some point you've got to talk to your agent and say, I want out of here. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's something to be said to, presentation, presentation. It's a shame that it is that way, but it's something we all know as black men in this society that it's a lot of things that it's a shame that it's that way, but it is what it is, and we just keep making, like you were saying earlier, progress, like Juneteenth.
You got to get to the owner's box.
Ownership over slave ship, so you say next week, right here. We're unpacking. For my mouthpiece. I think I can. So you say what? Oh, here it is. So you say next week we're unpacking. What are we unpacking, Ace?
Let's look at the Pretty Boy Floyd versus
Yeah, white
Money
privilege.
Mayweather.
Yeah, and there's been other fights that's been similar to that. Yeah, these exhibition fights you're talking about,
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
got where they got the what's our guy played basketball. He got in there with that white boy's brother.
Oh, Nate Robinson.
Yeah, knocked him silly in it.
Yeah. Hey, but it was a check for him, I guess. Yeah, he doesn't have to get in there anymore.
Well, like I said, it's the same thing like slavery. And when we get to, we'll save it though. This will be good for the promo. But when it comes to that, when it comes to that, hey, black guy, I could be walking down the street. Hey, black guy with dreads, you want to get in the ring with me? I'll give you $25,000. I mean,
let me see. What am I doing tomorrow? Making nothing versus how much you gonna pay me?
I mean, you have to ask yourself the question: is it worth it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is it worth the concussion?
And the coonery.
Yeah.
You're playing a part of a game that's been played. We got to save this, stories. We got to save all this. I don't want to, give away my point of view from before next week. So we appreciate y'all checking us out. Share this link, and let's get them in here. This thing shall grow.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Big ups to Big Nick, South Florida, Silverbacking. Big ups to Ace. Big ups to Jackie Robinson West. Next week, when you step in the building, guard your grill, knuckle up, and don't forget to bring your mouthpiece.